I was still holding the grocery bag when she screamed it. "My money! Get out!" Her voice cracked the room like a whip. I watched the oranges roll across the floor, bright and useless. She didn't bend to pick them up. She pointed at the door like it was a verdict already signed. I didn't argue. I nodded. I walked. That was the first mistake she made, thinking silence meant surrender. I raised her alone after her father disappeared, with a smile and a suitcase. I taught her how to balance a checkbook before she learned algebra. I told her money wasn't power, discipline was. We were poor in the way that makes you careful, not bitter. I worked nights, stitched mornings together with coffee and stubborn hope. When she won that ticket, I cried because I thought I'd finally done something right that would outlive me. She hugged me once, just once. Then the walls went up. The house changed first. New locks, new cameras, new rules I hadn't agreed to. She stopped calling me Mom and started saying my name like a liability. She hired people who looked through me. She laughed louder, sharper. I noticed how she'd tilt the ticket toward the light, like it was holy, like it belonged to her alone. I noticed something else, too, the name, but I kept that thought folded and quiet. The day she threw me out, she told the neighbors I was confused, that I was unstable. She said it sweetly, like she was protecting everyone. She said I should be grateful she didn't call the police. I took my coat, I took my purse, I took nothing that could be called theft. I left the house I paid for with a decade of bones and back pain. Outside, the wind was honest. I slept on a friend's couch and listened to the city breathe. I didn't cry. I made lists. I replayed moments. I remembered the gas station, the flickering fluorescent lights, the way the clerk had slid the ticket across the counter to me, the way my hand had signed the back because I'm not stupid, the way I'd tucked it into my wallet before she even knew it existed. I remembered the name printed clean and legal at the top. Mine. I didn't confront her. I consulted, quietly, an attorney who didn't blink when I showed him the copy I'd made months earlier, a financial advisor who spoke in numbers, not sympathy. We didn't plan revenge. We planned correction. The ticket was claimed, yes, but claims have histories, and signatures have ownership, and ownership has teeth. I let her spend, let her announce, let her preen on morning shows and talk about destiny and gratitude. I watched her buy a car she couldn't drive well and a house she couldn't maintain. I watched her alienate the friends who warned her about me. I watched the narrative settle, the ungrateful old woman, the golden child. Then we filed. No drama, no leaks, just a request for review. The commission froze the funds first. That was the sound of the world inhaling. She called me then, left messages that sounded like apologies until you heard the math underneath. She threatened me with nothing she owned. She cried about loyalty like it was currency. I didn't answer. Court is quiet if you know where to sit. I listened as documents spoke for me. My signature, my ID, my receipt. My attorney didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. Facts don't shout, they wait. She took the stand and lied because she thought confidence could substitute for proof. She talked about intention, about family, about how I must have misunderstood. The judge asked her to explain the signature. She couldn't. Her mouth made shapes. None of them were true. The ruling was clean. Ownership recognized, funds reassigned. The room didn't clap. Justice rarely gets applause. I met her outside afterward. She looked smaller without the cameras, older without the money. She asked me how I could do this to her. I told her I hadn't done anything. I told her I'd simply finished what I started. I gave her enough to land softly, enough to learn, not enough to forget. I bought back the house and sold it. I paid every debt she didn't know I carried. I set up a trust she could access only with conditions she hated: therapy, budgeting, accountability, time. I didn't move back. I didn't need the walls to prove I'd built them. Now, when I think about that night, the oranges on the floor, her finger aimed at the door, I feel something like relief. She thought power was loud. She thought victory screamed. I walked away quietly because I knew where the noise would end, and because she never checked the name on the ticket.